Well, session's officially formally underway here in Springfield. And for the last couple of days, we're getting a ton of calls here in the office about House Bill 3320, the RIFL Act, that will likely be J.B. Pritzker's top gun control agenda item in 2026. Aaron Dorr here, guys, Illinois Firearms Association. I'm going to tell you right now, this is not an idle threat. This is not some file and forget bill by some psycho Democrat. Pritzker's RIFL Act is probably the most dangerous gun control bill we've ever seen, and it already has 35 co-sponsors on the bill since session ended last year. But here's the thing, 23 of them have added their names in just the last couple of weeks. And with the liberal media, which that's every media outlet here in Illinois, running a nonstop full court press on this, it is picking up steam very quickly. Check this out.
The RIFL Act was introduced in the Illinois House last February. While it didn't get called for a vote last session, the RIFL Act gained support over the past year. The state bill would charge gun manufacturers licensing fees to sell weapons in Illinois. That would go into a fund that pays victims for gun violence-related expenses. The Victims Fund would also cover disability accommodation, lost wages or tuition, property damage, probate cost, emergency relocation, and emergency child care.
All right, so here's the details on this bill. HB-3320 creates a brand new permit. They call it the RIFL permit. It's some bullshit acronym, RIFL. I don't even know what it stands for. This is a state permission slip that gun manufacturers have to manufacture firearms in Illinois. But here's the deal. The cost of this permit, follow me on this, the cost of this permit is the total cost of gun violence, another BS phrase, the total cost of gun violence in Illinois divided by the total number of guns manufactured in Illinois, multiplied by the number of guns each individual company produces. I'm going to say it again. The manufacturers pay a percentage of what J.B. Pritzker claims to be the cost of gun violence here in Illinois. The bill spells out in black and white. You can see it for yourself. It's page 5, lines 3 through 6, and it says, the fee paid by a firearm manufacturer shall be the portion of the total annual aggregate fee equal to the market share of the firearm manufacturer as determined by Pritzker. I added that part. It's as determined by the state. So for the first year of implementation, these commie assholes have set the total cost of gun violence at $866 million. $866 million. In other words, the more popular a gun manufacturer is, the more guns they sell, the more they're going to get shaken down by the state of Illinois. This is straight up economic warfare against firearms manufacturers. It's just designed to drive them right out of the state. And of course, like any good tyrant, there's major penalties assigned to these manufacturers in HB 3320. Right now, the penalty will be $1 million a month. You can see here, it's page 11, lines 6 through 9. It says a manufacturer who violates this act is subject to a civil penalty of up to $1 million a month for every month a continuing violation of that subsection continues. $1 million a freaking month. I mean, hell, we think that the Somali fraud in Minnesota was bad. Those are rookie numbers compared to what J.B. Pritzker wants to do with his RIFL fund here in Illinois. Of course, if this fast wanted to actually deal with violent crime here, he could. He knows that manufacturers are not the problem. It's not gun dealers, and it's not gun owners. It's Pritzker, and it's the commies, and it's their policies. I mean, if you wanted to design a roadmap to screw over a state and send violent crime soaring, you'd probably do something like, I don't know, enact bail reform laws, heavy sarcasm, that lets violent criminals walk free after being arrested. And you'd probably then flood the state with violent foreign nationals who attack your citizens. And you'd probably tell your local prosecutors and state prosecutors to plea out every violent crime to a misdemeanor offense, and you'd probably try and stop the Trump White House from deporting violent criminals. That's what this tyrant governor has done, and that's why we have an explosion of violence across Illinois, along with broken homes and failed schools and crappy job market and all the mind-altering drugs that our schools force into our children. That's what's caused the problem. That's how you fix the problem. Reverse all that crap. The folks who've done this, like Pritzker, should be the ones who are held accountable. He should be the one in prison. He should be the one in chains. But instead, Pritzker's going to use the crime wave that he has created as cover to drive gun manufacturers out of Illinois. Back to the bill. I haven't even got to the worst part of the bill yet, because the really nasty part is who qualifies for money under this program. Well, short version, everybody, including killers and thieves. Don't believe me? Think I'm being sensational, folks? I wish this was sensational. Read it for yourself. Right here in front of you. Victim means any, number one, any individual who is killed by a firearm injury or suffers a firearm injury, or number two, the next of kin, legal guardian, dependent, first-degree relative, second-degree relative, or employer of an individual described in item or section number 1. If you read that carefully, you'll see what I'm talking about. There's no carve-out there that says they have to be the victim in a crime. This has been covered widely by other entities right now. This is not a joke. This means that a thug who gets shot while trying to rob, rape, or murder you can be treated as a victim under this RIFL Act and get paid for his injuries. Now, what can these super predators, as Joe Biden called them, get paid for? Pretty much any damn thing they want. It allows a payout for, read this. Here's the quote. It allows payouts for costs related to medical and mental health care, rehabilitation, prescriptions, medical devices, funeral expenses, emergency transportation, lost wages, loss of tuition, property damage, temporary relocation, property disability accommodations, probate costs, replacement services loss of support, dependent replacement service, short-term child care, pain and suffering, hiring, recruiting, paid accommodation costs, time off, training, and work accommodation costs. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. A criminal tries to harm you, tries to kill you, tries to destroy your family. You defend yourself. You shoot that person, and regular people, taxpayers, have to pay these assholes for it. This is the worst bill I've ever heard of in my entire life. This is absolutely insane. And this is a real threat, folks. Of course, no Pritzker gun control bill would be complete without some level of attack against gun dealers. Of course, we're not going to leave the FFLs alone. So on page 11, the bill attacks them too. It says a retailer who violates this section is subject to a civil penalty of $10,000 per violation. So what this means for dealers is you may only sell firearms from a manufacturer who possesses this new permit. If you sell a gun from some company that doesn't have their permit, $10,000 per violation. Again, designed to just drive every last gun dealer the heck out of our state, send them over to Missouri or someplace else. That's the goal of the bill. The bill will just simply collapse our entire firearms supply chain. Manufacturers, dealers, gun owners. The goal is just to disarm every single one of us, leaving only Pritzker and his government agents with guns. But again, I want to stress this again and again and again. This is not a symbolic bill. This is not just posturing from our governor who wants to run for president next cycle. It's got 35 co-sponsors, 23 added on right before session began late last year. They are very serious about this. It's all over the news. If we don't get loud right now, this bill is going to move. So I need every gun owner to get engaged. We've made it very easy for you. More on that in just a moment. But the thing is, I know everyone says no one listens to us in Springfield, but that's not actually perfectly true. See, any Democrat right now in a swing seat knows that voting for this could cost him or her his career. It's just a fact. There's not a ton of swing seats, but there's more than a handful. And we have to put all of our pressure on those vulnerable Democrats and the backstabbing rhinos who stab us in the back every so often. We have to flood them with pressure. Hit the link below and fire off your pre-written email into the legislature right now. The work has all been done for you. The email is pre-written. You type in your name and your address, and it goes right to your state senator and state rep based on your address. It's easy. You can hit the send 3-time option. It fires off 3 separate emails. I hope you will help us hammer these people. And if you can, donate $20, $30, $40, whatever you can to help us get the word out. We're using text alerts, digital ads, email campaigns, direct mail, everything we can to mobilize a grassroots army to shut this bill down. If you guys want to get more involved, go to IllinoisFirearmsAssociation.org and become a member today. Guys, session's underway. This is a big threat. We're fully engaged. Stand with us now.